The Giants are 0-2 with only a 2% chance of making the playoffs. Grim odds for the G-men to make the playoffs at this point at all. You think the Giants' season is over?
Yes, the Giants' season's over if what you mean is, are they going to make the playoffs? No, they won't. I mean, it's later in the season, they may make you think, hey, look, they'll do a little something if the offensive line comes together. And it's way better offensive line on paper than it was last season. But the Giants, look, you go into a season, most teams are like 8-8-ish. And if they get a little lucky, 10-6, unlucky 6-10. Then there are some teams who are genuinely worse than 8-8. And the way the Giants have played so far, they look more like a 6-10 type of team. So they better hope they don't get unlucky and go 4-12, because that's possible too based on what I've seen. Eli looks old. He's not seeing the field. He's not getting rid of the ball quickly enough. Shermer's offense looks backward. He's trying to use a power running game with their running back who can do so much more. And anyway, the best receiver I've ever seen with my own eyes, at least the most talented, Odell Beckham, they can't get him the ball. Evan Ingram, an excellent pass-catching tight end, can really get separation. Can't really get him the ball to make big plays. Their pass rush wasn't there. I realize that's due to injury, but this is a team that does not look like it's going anywhere this season.
Let's be clear. We can't. They look that way. Max is right about that. But the reality is you can't rule anything out with the Giants right now. It's still a possibility that they can make the playoffs. You know why? By default. Look at the Dallas Cowboys. They couldn't score. They're still struggling offensively. They lost week 1. They won last night. Look at the Washington Redskins. They handled their business week 1, got beat by the coach yesterday. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles, with the reigning defending Super Bowl champions. Handled their home opener at Lincoln Financial Field against the Atlanta Falcons. Showed up in Tampa last night and gave up a 75-yard play on the first play from scrimmage and a couple for the game. And you're wondering where the hell was their defense at. The NFC East is religiously up and down. The NFC East is religiously high-wide. You don't know what you're getting year to year. One year, some team is dominant. Another year, they go 9-7 or 7-9 for crying out loud. It's a real haphazard division. And if it were any other division, I would say the Giants are finished, particularly with their schedule. They're at Houston next week. They go against New Orleans at home. They're at Carolina after that. Got the Eagles, the Falcons, the Redskins, the 49ers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're looking at their schedule, and it appears to be hellacious. The problem is, when it comes to the NFC East, they're always haphazard. They always go at one another. And you can never truly definitively predict that somebody is out, because you've won this division before with a 9-7 record. Mm-hmm. And that's what you got to keep in mind about this year's NFC East.
They've won a Super Bowl starting 0-2 also.
Yeah.
Well, I would say there's a couple of things. Number one, when you go on 2 percentage-wise,
90%.
You're not. It's basically 9% chance that you're not going to make the playoffs.
That's right.
That's number one. Number two, when we think of the New York Giants, we think of when they've won in the past, particularly when they won Super Bowls. Where they've really won is in the trenches, the offense, the defensive line. When you look at the Giants, and we've talked about this now for years up front with their line, if you can't block anyone in the National Football League, you're not going anywhere. The Giants have all the shiny toys. They got the wide receiver. Mm-hmm. They got the tight end. They got the running back. But the most essential part of the game, they can't block anyone one-on-one. So what good is having Odell Beckham Jr., Saquon Barkley, Evan Ingram, when you can't even block guys man to man?
Question, Damian, because you're the perfect person to answer this. We were making a lot of noise about an improved offensive line. Eric Flowers goes from left tackle to right tackle. You get Nate Solder from the New England Patriots. You draft this kid, Will Hernandez, that a lot of people believe was a stud. All right, when you look at the offensive line, how do you feel about what you've seen from them? What do you feel about their potential based on their offensive line personnel? You know the position.
Well, first of all, when you switch Eric Flowers from left tackle to right tackle, anyone who play offensive line know it's like being a right hand, right with your right hand to go on the right with your left hand. That's number one. Then on top of that, he's just not good. Okay, so there's nothing you can do about that if you're the New York Giants. You're not going to sign anybody off the street that's probably going to be better than Eric Flowers. Number two, they're just getting whipped one-on-one, Stephen A. They're getting whipped. Okay, there's no schematic game plan that you can draw up for guys just getting beat one-on-one. There's nothing you can do. So if you're the coaching staff or you're the fan base of the New York Giants, the only thing you can hope for is that as the season continues along, that these guys maybe gel a little bit better and things start looking better.
Is Nate Solder looking good to you?
For the money that they paid him to sign him away from New England, no, he's not. The pay is not. It's not showing up there on the field right now. So, again, You hope that they gel better as the season moves along. But right now, there's just too many guys getting whipped up front.
And here's the
that's just the bottom line.
And here's the problem. What was the Giants' plan? When you think about what they did for the offensive line, did they even devote enough resources? Now, I know it's a new GM, but Andrew Whitworth was available last year. Jerry Reese didn't want him because he was older to get a big contract. The Rams wanted him, and the Bengals' offensive line fell apart last year, and the Rams' offensive line suddenly got good because they signed a really, really good left tackle. Giants passed. They wait till this year, sign Nate Solder, who's not nearly as good, to a huge contract, and so you get what you get. Will Hernandez is, I think, going to be excellent, but he's a rookie. It takes offensive linemen time to gel. Not just, it's also more of a skills position than people realize. So you got a rookie left guard and a new left tackle and a new starting center, at least, the guy who's been there but who's starting now. And you bring in a new right guard, and you move your left tackle to right tackle. So the point is, it's going to take time for that to gel. So what have you done in the draft? You drafted a running back thinking, okay, Eli, you have 2 more seasons to try to get something done. But already you're in an 0-2 hole, so it probably ain't going to be this season. So you mean to tell me the Giants' entire plan was that next year they're going to do something for 1 year and then draft another quarterback after that? The timing of this all does not make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Listen, I'm starting to question if the Giants even know how to build a team, and I'm starting to question their coaching as well.
You can question that. The problem is you got a new GM. And you got a new coach. They're just getting started, so you can look at it that way. But when you look at the Cowboys, they blitzed, they ran stunts, they rushed 4, they rushed 5. I mean, they did everything, and the Giants had no answer.
They did everything. The Giants
Eli Manning, did you see his eyes? I mean, he was like, he was sitting.
I
mean, it was like, I felt bad for him.
Every shot of him was like a meme, honestly.